Joel Sherman is back with us, and we're rounding the bases on a Wednesday. Why? We have things to say. C.J. Abrams, Hunter Goodman continuing their all-star ways with more power on Tuesday. Both players have had their name in the trade rumors, and they are, Casey just said it when talking about Hunter Goodman, they are exactly what you want, what you search for as a franchise as we welcome you back inside. Why would you part with one or both of them? And I'm sure the interest is everywhere.
I'm sure there's a lot of interest. I think they're slightly different because Abrams has 2 years to free agency and Goodman has 5. So I think Colorado essentially doesn't make phone calls, but says, if you want to give us a phone call, the bar is here at about $1.50 on a dollar, as we look at it. For Washington, I think they have to ask, what are our goals and what are our horizons? If the goal is to get into the playoffs in the next few years, then you keep Abrams. If your goal is to be a sustained contender for a long time, unless you're planning to keep Abrams long term, you're extending him. This marketplace with so few hitters, or this free agency when there are so few hitters, is probably the time to move and maximize him. So you have to ask a tough internal question. Are we signing him long term? When do we think we're going to be true contenders?
When will they be true contenders, the Nationals in D.C.?
They're closer than the Rockies are. So I would keep Abrams if I'm the Nationals, and if I'm the Rockies, especially because it's a first year of a new front office. I look at the Rockies and the Angels as both having that benefit case of being a fresh set of eyes who are not tied to having drafted these players before. Now, as Joel says, you're not in any kind of a rush to trade Goodman, but because the industry and the Yankees are part of this, have such a need for catching, I believe, Case, now is the time to put Goodman out there and see if a team meets your high price, and if they do, you trade him.
Yeah, I disagree, JP, only on the fact that you got 4 more years of control. As a team, you're looking for a great catcher behind the dish. You got the guy with elite power. This isn't a guy you just go find. So if you do trade him, who are you getting back? Are you getting two elite prospects back, which probably you aren't? So for me, Goodman stays. Sherman, I kind of agree with you with Abrams. You just got to ask a lot of different questions because at the end of the day, you got James Wood sitting there. You got Abrams. Who are you going to sign? Where are you? Who are you? And if you're not going to sign him long term, maybe now's the time to trade.
And just a small thing. I think Goodman has more homers away from Coors, so I know that power is real.
Right, exactly.
Very telling. Trade deadline exactly 12 days away, so sleep now, guys. It's about to get real. There was a time we considered this Marlins team as a what if they get in with this pitching staff. 8 losses in a row. It was a rough weekend. They got swept. It's been a continuation. Now what, JP?
They are heading towards Sellersville, I believe, on their journey to the trade deadline, Lauren, because you look at the National League East. If we're taking this perspective with clear eyes, are they better than the Phillies? No. Are they better than the Braves? No. And so if they're not going to be able to win the division this year, Peter Bendix has always been more of a builder and has that long-term view. Sandy Alcantara, potentially some others as well. This is a team that if they decide to sell, it's almost as though they can make the decision that, as we talked about earlier, that the Astros have a hard time making. The Marlins, for me, have always been a franchise that have an easier time making that decision, and they've got the pieces, especially in the rotation, to really capitalize on what is a fairly shallow amount of supply of elite talent out there. Joel, I think this tips towards selling for me, and they can really do a great job of building for a future when they can win the division against teams like the Phillies and Braves in the future.
Yeah, I think you hit a key point, which is the best they're hoping for is to be the third wild card. And if that's the best you can do, this front office was brought in to look at everything from 20,000 feet, not from up close. And from 20,000 feet, this is one more year. In some ways, this is a well-timed losing streak because they should probably be playing for the future for as early as next year.
Never heard you say that before. Right. Well-timed losing. It makes sense.
Because if they don't,
right.
they're winning, they're kind of forced to go for it. And they're probably not a team that's good enough right this second to go for it. But they have a lot of things in place. And they have some pieces, at Alcantara, for example, to add more pieces to go for it. This is not a rebuild for 29, 30, 31. They could be real factors next year.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like also, too, Otto Lopez, a little banged up. Max Meyer.
Just went on the IL.
Just went on the IL. Not good for, hey, you're trying to make that run. Those are some pieces that you need right away. So I agree. I think the Marlins right now, perfect time to have that losing streak. Now you go get some players and you sell some guys.
Because the problem is the National League is not forgiving. The AL more so. And as for now, the Yankees have a wild card. Of course, they would want the division, and help is on the way. Yes, please. Max Fried pitching in the night game tonight. A healthier rotation, even as an opponent case. You're getting Garrett Cole in the day game, and then this monster at night. If arms are the separator, Yankees got
This is huge. This is huge for Max Fried coming back. I mean, earlier in the year, he was the guy carrying the load when Cole and Rodon, those guys were kind of banged up. This was the guy. Having him back, Cole looks great. Cam Schlittler's the guy, what he's been doing. This is huge. This could be the reason right here that they take off and win the East.
In case these 5 names are the reason why the Tampa Bay Rays are so heavily involved in the starting pitching trade market, because they realize Griffin Jax has obviously pitched great, but he's a converted reliever. There's likely an innings limit that he will bump up against at some point. So, Joel, for me, the Yankees are setting the standard right now with rotation. The Red Sox are obviously having a great run of form with their rotation too, and all of those reasons are why the Rays stand to be, as you talked about earlier, one of the more aggressive teams in looking to add rotation help at the deadline.
The idealized version of the Yankees has been the same since the day they showed up in February in Tampa. Is can they get all the starters healthy at the same time? They have not had that because Rodon and Cole were out early. By the time they came back, Fried was out. They're getting Fried back today. Rodon is close.
Who's in the bullpen?
And Lauren, you hit it. That graphic we just showed had 5 names on it, including Will Warren. Ryan Weathers isn't on there. So when you look at Warren and Weathers, what it gives the Yankees for the next few days and maybe the rest of the year is, can they use Warren or Weathers in a trade? Can that be the front guy to go get Mason Miller, somebody who goes right into the Padres rotation, something like that? Or after August 3rd, if they have all of these guys, which of those guys? Is Ryan Weathers a power lefty in the bullpen? Because they didn't get someone like Adrian Morejon to be a join Hedrick as a power lefty. The most idealized version of the Yankees has always been all of those starters healthy and giving them lots of alternatives.
Morejon's a free agent. Yeah.
After this year.
After this year, Yankees play 2, and then they head to Philadelphia. Guess who will meet them there? Zack Wheeler. It's your ultimate performance presented by Snapdragon. He was magic last night. He'd like one back to Max Muncy. It was strikeout city. Where is he in your Cy Young? We talk about Cy Young, and we're looking at Philly for a couple at the top. Where is Zack Wheeler right now?
Easily top 5. I still think Sanchez might have the edge, and I'm a big innings guy, Joel. When I have this ballot, I always look at how are they trending with innings, and on this board, Sanchez has the lead by at least 2 starts worth of innings. Mizorowski, there's the uncertainty about exactly how much he's going to be able to pitch in the near term, so I still have Sanchez as the favorite, but he's got some company right now, Joel.
Here's the thing is, I agree with you 100%. It's always a big deal for me when somebody says, well, look at these guys' numbers with 150 innings. I go, yeah, but this other guy has 180, 190 innings, and it's close. That's like 7 extra starts. But here's the thing. Wheeler missed almost all of April. He's going to go blowing by those guys in innings.
Unreal.
This is the horse of the game. What's amazing is he has 100 innings, and he missed April, essentially, and was coming back from shoulder surgery. I think he'll get close to leading the league in innings. He's an amazing pitcher and an amazing story this year.
I agree. And there's one thing, too, that I've been around a lot of elite players in my life. When you give the elite guys another reason to go to another level where you're like, wow, that looks even different.
Right.
I think the whole thing with the All-Star game,
yes.
I think there's something about the Wheeler we're watching right now in this second half push of you said it right, Joel, 7 innings, 8 innings, put away stuff, swing and miss, domination type stuff. I think right now when I look at him, this guy's got a great shot to win the Cy Young.
And to bring it full circle, there was a deadline years ago, a 1-for-1 trade. Carlos Beltran for Zack Wheeler. He, of course, was drafted by the Giants. In that trade, that's how it went. He ends up going to the Mets in that trade. The Mets trade Beltran to the Giants. It was a 1-for-1 trade. So think about that. At the trade deadline, you might have a future Hall of Famer going one way and then one of the best pitchers of his generation going the other.
Are we going to see Mizorowski with 5 innings? Is that going to be the new normal?
For a little while, I think.
I think they have to think big picture, which is he has to be at his best on October 1st. And I don't want to say, like, the Cubs could threaten the Brewers, but the Brewers are better. And if they have a nice big lead by September 1st, I could really see them pulling the reins back.